What's up guys, this is Anime Crossover. I'm back with another episode of Naruto with the legendary Silver Fox part 13, and if you did enjoy this video, give this video a like and if you're new to my channel and like content, subscribe and hit the notification bell for more crossover fictions with a twist. Now let's begin this new video.
Chapter 24 Naruto awoke from the morning light streaming in through the window when he realized it was the concluding day of the second portion of the Chunin exam. He glanced down to see Hinata sleeping comfortably on his bosom, Kira next to Hinata, and Anko and Kurenai snuggling up to one of his arms, all nude. They really drained me, not that I'm complaining. Naruto grinned as he recalled the day before when he eventually mated with Anko and his other partners for nearly the entire day. I'm glad they performed that birth control jutsu because otherwise I'd be a father by now, but maybe someday. Naruto's musings were disrupted when Hinata began to awaken from her slumber, her ears twitching, reminding Naruto of how adorable she looked when she did so. "Morning Angelheim, how'd you sleep?" Hinata asked, carefully opening her dreary eyes and gazing up at Naruto's smiling face. Hinata twitched her ears again as she lifted herself up and kissed Naruto on the lips while purring in pleasure. When Kira and the others began to awaken, Naruto wrapped one of his tails around her midsection. "Good morning Naruto-kun," each of the females said in perfect unison as they cuddled with Naruto, kissing their partner and purring in pleasure. Naruto curled his second tail around Kira's midsection while Kurenai and Anko wrapped their tails around each other, Hinata's and Kira's tails creating a furry chain and their spare tail winding around Naruto's wrists. "Yesterday was wonderful," Anko murmured. "The first time was wonderful, the other times were incredible," Kurenai purred as she lightly nibbled one of Naruto's ears, making Naruto chuckle. "Roseheim that tickles. I knew you were limber, but I had no idea you could bend like that. You're a talker, huge guy. You have an uncanny ability to make us shriek. Moan, I'm still sore," Anko joyfully moaned, making Naruto blush. "Don't you look like a kinky vixen?" Kira laughed. "Says the girl who enjoys having her tail pulled while coming," Anko kissed Kira. "She's not the only one," Kurenai grumbled. "I love it when Naruto-kun kisses me," Hinata laughed. "Come on, Hinata, you know how much you enjoy it when he strokes your ears," Kurenai said, softly scratching the back of Hinata's fox ears with her fang, making Hinata mew with delight. "As much as I like where this is going, the second part of the Chunin exam ends today. Dango Heim should be the proctor," Naruto said. "I don't want to," Anko moaned. "Chuckle, but if you don't do it, I won't be able to become a Chunin, and then what?" "I'll be your new sensei, and then we can spend some quality time together as sensei and students," Anko stated. "Not if I beat you to it," Kurenai chuckled, "you really are kinky." "Can you blame me?" Anko smiled contentedly. "Sounds like fun, too," Hinata said, wiggling her tails. "Dango Heim, come on. I'll do anything," Naruto said. "Anything?" Anko asked, a sly grin on his face. "Sure," Naruto said, beaming. "I'll hold you to that, darling," Anko purred, kissing Naruto on the mouth as the ladies swayed out of bed, each swaying their hips, making Naruto shiver with delight. "Would you like to join us in the bath, Naruto-kun?" "Sure." A few minutes later, "This brings back memories, doesn't it?" said two Jonin as they walked down the corridor. "No kidding, but I can't say the same for the hopefuls." "What's the harm?" "Right, you're a novice who was recently elevated." Ibiki Morino, one of the best interrogators in his profession, was one of the proctors, in case you didn't know. The second proctor is equally vicious, wicked, and frightening, with no feminine allure, and would castrate you in an instant. Her name is Anko Mitarashi. When he saw Anko stroll out of her room without her shin guards showing off her long legs and her beige coat showing off her big chest, the Jonin ceased raving. Anko also chose a black blouse that hugged her figure over her normal mesh shirt, and she fixed her hair with a hairband in her mouth while quietly humming a melody. Anko wore her tails loosely around her midsection, her ears looking down. Anko had just finished fixing her hair when she spotted the two Jonin standing in the center of the corridor, blushing. "What's wrong with you two? You both appear to have spent far too much time in the heat. Whatever it is, I must make arrangements. Would you please inform Old Man Hokage that I will be in the main arena?" "Thank you," Anko said as she put on her parka and waved goodbye to the two Jonin. "Who was he, sir?" "She's stunning. Anko Mitarashi," the Jonin said. A few minutes later all of the teams that had passed were lined up with their groups, waiting for the Chunin exams to resume. The San siblings, Yugito's team, Team 7, Team 8, Team 9, Team 10, the Sound Genin with a nervous-looking kin, and Kabuto's team were the winning teams. Naruto noticed Sasuke massaging his shoulder and asked, "You okay, Sasuke?" "I believe something attacked me. It was most likely an insect." "You should exercise caution. Mosquitoes transmit diseases and heartworms that are harmful to dogs," Shino said, pushing up his eyeglasses. "Yeah, but I don't think we need to worry about that, right?" an anxious Sasuke questioned. "You look a little pale, Sasuke," Kira observed. "That's because I'm not sure whether I should go see a doctor or a vet," Sasuke explained, as Naruto, Kira, and Hinata tried not to chuckle. A disguised Orochimaru stood on the stance, gazing down at the genin who had succeeded in noticing a pale Sasuke massaging his shoulder. "Good, the curse mark is beginning to take effect." Sarutobi, the Raikage, and his wife Kuroi, who had her cat characteristics concealed, entered the main arena and watched the genin teams pass by. "Well, this is quite unusual," Sarutobi said, drawing everyone's focus, "and it appears that we have more teams than we thought. I'm worried we'll have to conduct preliminary elections for the first time in years." "Brings back memories, doesn't it, Sarutobi-sama?" laughed the Raikage. "I remember you were quite the adversary yourself, Raikage-sama, though one of your brothers certainly did give one of our inspiring ninjas a hard time," Sarutobi said. "And he is still. I just wish he used the door more often," said the Raikage, his wife laughing at what he said, "and please Sarutobi-sama, just call me Hikari." "Chuckle, as you wish, then," Sarutobi said, motioning to Anko. "Open the screening doors," Anko said into a microphone on her ear. "Please allow me to explain." Sarutobi was about to clarify when a man with short brown hair and prominent lines under his dark eyes appeared in front of the Hokage, sporting the standard leaf shinobi uniform replete with a forehead protector that he wore like a bandana, flak jacket, and normal shinobi sandals. "Lord Hokage, if I may, I believe I should explain the rules because this part of the exam is my responsibility." Cough. "Alright, Hayate, go ahead." Cough. "Thank you," Hayate said. "Does this man have a cold?" wondered each genin. "Hayate, you fool, my sister is going to murder you for not taking your medication," Yugo Uzuki, who stood next to the Hokage in her standard Anbu garb and cat disguise with her wolf features concealed in a genjutsu, thought. "Forgive me, Hokage-sama, but there appears to be a minor detail that requires Hayate Gecko's attention," said a female medical ninja with straight purple hair to her hips and green eyes, dressed in the standard leaf shinobi uniform. The lady was Yuna Uzuki Gecko, Yugo Uzuki's elder sister and Hayate Gecko's wife. Unfortunately, because Hayate has a mysterious illness that causes him to cough all the time, both Uzuki sisters are continuously nagging him to take his medication. Sarutobi recognized Yuna's detail immediately and realized the unfortunate special Jonin was in danger with his wife. "Alright, I'll allow it this time. Do not allow it to happen again. However, Hokage-sama, I believe you're needed somewhere else, Hayate. I suggest you go," Sarutobi said, as Hayate groaned quietly as he followed Yuna out. "That man never learns his lesson," Yugo murmured. "That's why your sister checks him. Who knows how long he would have really lasted," Sarutobi said, drawing his focus back to the genin. "He's in for a world of hurt," Hikari said quietly. "And what do you mean by that, darling?" Kuroi asked her husband, while Hikari simply smiled at his wife, like any good husband should know, never piss off the wife. "That's how I know I should always be on your good side, darling." "Meow," Kuroi said, motioning her palm like a cat. "The rules are quite simple. Each of your names will appear on the screen you see before you and are selected at random." Sarutobi cleared his throat, regaining the focus of the genin team. "When your opponent is unable to battle or is killed, the struggle is over. However, a Jonin is allowed to intervene before the killing blow is struck, but it will result in the saved person's resignation," said the Hokage as he resumed his explanation. "If anyone wishes to quit, this is your opportunity." After a few seconds of quiet, a hand was lifted. "Excuse me, but I would like to resign. I appear to have reached my limit and am completely out of chakra," Kabuto Yakushi said. "What are you doing?" one of Kabuto's colleagues asked. "Don't worry, I'll leave it to you to finish my mission. After all, this is your opportunity to show your supremacy to me," Kabuto said, his teammates' eyes evilly glinting. "Very well then, you may go," the Hokage said, motioning to Yugo. "Now then, let's begin with the first round," Yugo agreed, signaling the other ANBUs who were concealed in the darkness without anyone observing. The screen began to scroll through names before abruptly stopping. Yoroi Akado vs Sasuke Uchiha. With Sakura's help, Sasuke was applying healing ointment to his mosquito-bitten arm when one of Kabuto's comrades approached them and asked, "So you're my opponent? Laugh, what a jerk." "He's a ray of sunshine," Sasuke said. "That's something I'd expect Naruto to say," Haku observed. "He tends to rub off on people," Sasuke said, adjusting his collar. Only Sasuke and Yoroi remained in the arena after everyone ascended the steps to the stands. "Are the combatants prepared?" Hayate inquired, his lips curled in a smile that stunned everyone. In comparison to his first showing, his physical looks appeared to be healthier. He recovered quickly. Sarutobi pondered. "Onisan, I had no idea you had it in you," exclaimed a stunned and embarrassed Yugo. "The medical wing, thank you, Yugo-chan, and to your fiancé," Yuna said from beneath the blankets of a hospital bed. "Now I get to keep my Hayate-kun for a long time, and if that quickie is just a showcase, I won't be resting for the next couple of nights," exclaimed Yuna, her wolf ears twitching with delight. "Oh, yes, I do have a task to do." "Arena, huh, he smells like coyotes. Then again, he is Yugo's brother-in-law, so it was destined to happen sooner or later," Sasuke reasoned, understanding full well about Yugo's sister. "Begin." Yoroi charged at Sasuke, who dodged at the last second, Yoroi's hand only touching his hair. When Sasuke was compelled to avoid Yoroi's oncoming strike, he felt a minor dizziness. "What was that? I was never woozy while battling." Yoroi rushed Sasuke again, but this time Sasuke drew his katana and swung it in a horizontal arc, causing Yoroi to leap back. Sasuke rushed at Yoroi, striking in an upward diagonal arc, and Yoroi blocked the strike with a kunai. Sasuke kicked Yoroi in the torso, and Yoroi grabbed Sasuke's thigh as he did so. Sasuke became nauseous instantly, enabling Yoroi to throw him across the floor, causing him to skid to a stop and drop his blade. "What was that? When he caressed me, I felt nauseated. Did he do a jutsu on me?" wondered Sasuke as Yoroi approached slowly. Heh. So the supposed Uchiha could only do this? I expected you to put up more of a struggle. You haven't even done one jutsu so far, Yoroi bragged as he approached Sasuke's blade. "Maybe I'll just finish you off with your sword." Yoroi was picking up Sasuke's blade when he was shocked, causing him to drop the sword. Sasuke used this chance to kick Yoroi in the face swiftly, then used the momentum to strike Yoroi in the chest. Fire style, fireball jutsu. Sasuke rapidly did several hand signs. "Sorry, but my sword is a bit picky about who picks it up," Sasuke said as he blasted out a huge fireball, propelling Yoroi onto his back. "He can still use chakra," wondered a stunned Orochimaru. "That's not conceivable. I should have depleted about half of his supplies. With the curse mark on him, he should be feeling feeble by now," Yoroi reasoned. "Unlike you, I do not undervalue my opponents. I recommend that you give up now, while you still have the option. I don't want to use my sword on you," Sasuke said, aiming his sword at Yoroi. "Who is underestimating their opponent now? I've only just started fighting," yelled Yoroi, rushing directly at Sasuke. "Don't say I didn't warn you, wolf style, lightning blast," shouted Sasuke as he reversed the blade, hitting the ground as an electrical current rushed towards Yoroi, shattering the earth. At the last second, Yoroi avoided Sasuke's assault, with Sasuke swiftly grabbing his blade as he turned around kneeling down, with Yoroi leaping over Sasuke as he swung his sword in another horizontal arc that would have sliced Yoroi in half. Sasuke quickly reversed his hold, thrusting his blade backwards, with Yoroi slightly bending backwards, his fist next to Sasuke's face confronting the point of Sasuke's sword. When Sasuke glanced at Yoroi's hand, he noticed that it was coated in chakra, which caused his eyes to widen. "His chakra. It feels magnificent," said Sasuke as he turned around and aimed another attack, which Yoroi easily deflected. "It feels like it's rejuvenating me and giving me more strength." "Are you stealing my chakra? So you figured it out at long last. I must state that your aura is spectacular. It's as if I'm invincible." Yoroi clenched his hand, tiny electrical sparks emitted from it. "You moron. My chakra must be surrendered freely or it will be catastrophic. How much did you take?" "Enough to finish you off, Uchiha," Yoroi said, hand clenched, the electrical sparks increasing. "Stop. If you use it right now, it will only make matters worse." "Yeah. For you," exclaimed Yoroi as he charged at Sasuke. Yoroi directed a punch at Sasuke, who jumped back to avoid the impact. Ha! Now this is what I call power," exclaimed Yoroi as his hand collided with the earth, causing a large crack and a large shockwave. Damn it, I'm attempting to assist you, you should be concerned about what's happening. Yoroi's hand began to fiercely twitch as it began to turn dark. Sasuke stared in disbelief as Yoroi's entire hand steadily turned black and was about to spread to his torso. Proctor, exclaimed Sasuke to Hayate. We require a medical staff, he's been poisoned by chakras. Next time listen when someone says they're trying to help you, said Sasuke as he knocked Yoroi down on the ground. Next time listen when someone says they're trying to help you, said Sasuke as he raised his blade over his head and sliced down. Sasuke had severed Yoroi's black limb, and some black vein-like markings were beginning to blanket Yoroi. Yoroi's severed black limb began to twitch erratically before exploding with an electrical pulse. Thanks to your quick thinking, it appears that you managed to cut off most of the concentrated chakra, but there's still some left over in his body, Yuna says as the medical team transports Yoroi away. We'll do everything we can to assist him. Thank you, Yuna-san, Sasuke said, bowing as Yuna strode away to the hospital section. Since Yoroi is out of commission, Sasuke Uchiha is declared the winner, Hayate stated, as Sasuke walked up to the stands. Are you alright, Sasuke? Naruto inquired. It's not the victory I was hoping for, but I guess I should be grateful I'm making progress. Why didn't you use your Sharingan? Kakashi inquired. I don't want to rely too heavily on it. I'd rather learn through diligent effort than through imitation. Furthermore, if I'm going to replicate a jutsu, I'd rather do so from an opponent to use against them, but if it's from an ally, I'd rather learn it the hard way and truly grasp the technique, Sasuke explained. Quite an admirable feat, said an awestruck Kakashi. We'll move on to the next game. The board began to shuffle names once more. Kankuro vs Masumi Tsurugi, heh. It appears that it is now my time. I won't fail like Yoroi, the final member of Kabuto's squad reasoned. It appears to be simple pickings. I'll have this fight in the bag, Kankuro said as he prepared to leap down. Kankuro. Gaara said, causing Kankuro to glance back at his younger brother, be careful. Kankuro was taken aback by what Gaara said because he had never heard his sibling say that before. Thanks Gaara. Kankuro and Masumi exchanged glances as Hayate lifted his palm and said, begin. Too slow, exclaimed Masumi. Masumi charged at Kankuro, ready to strike him, when Masumi's hand abruptly bended in the opposite direction, striking the back of Kankuro's head. Kankuro easily avoided it. What do you think of jutsu? Masumi grasped Kankuro's hand as it began to wrap around Kankuro's arm. It allows me to dislocate and move my own bones in any way I want. So much for your predicted effortless win. Why don't I show you just how an easy victory is supposed to be won? Masumi swiftly coiled his leg around Kankuro, his free hand coiling around his neck. By breaking your neck, said Masumi, stiffening his hold on Kankuro's arms and neck with a menacing grin on his face. Masumi's hold tightened enough to shatter Kankuro's neck, rendering his head limp. Suddenly, Kankuro's suit was ripped open, and several wooden arm-like appendages emerged, encircling themselves around Masumi. What is this? Kankuro's head lifted, showing another figure that resembles a three-eyed, four-armed humanoid with jagged teeth and a spiky brown hairstyle extending from the top of its head and outlining the sides. What are you? Is it a demon? The bundle on the figure's back began to move, tearing the bandages to shreds and exposing an uninjured Kankuro. Phew, it was getting toasty in there. Impossible. I shattered your neck. Oh, no, you were actually battling with my buddy Crow here. Isn't he a handsome young man? To be more specific, you were battling him the entire time. But that implies, that's correct. I was secure and sound in the package on his back while I controlled him while you were showing off. This is a unique puppet method used by the Sand Village, and since you enjoy fracturing bones, why don't I just break every bone in your body? Winner. Kankuro, Hayate declared after several crunching noises were heard from Masumi, rendering him comatose. Yuna reappeared, this time with her medical team bringing Masumi away while gazing at the Hokage and Yugo giving her a signal. Yuna comprehended what they were saying and strolled away with her medical team as if she hadn't seen anything. Now then, on to the next match, Hayate said, the board moving through names once more. Alright, I'm pumped and ready for my match, exclaimed Lee. That's all there is to it, Lee. Let those flames of youth burn brightly, yelled Guy, with Neji blocking Tenten's path to her weapon scroll. Yugito Ni versus Kira Yoko Lee and Guy's faces were faulted to the ground, and Lee's dreams of becoming the next competitor were dashed. "Well, this is quite a turn of events," Sarutobi observed. "I'd say so," an inquiring Reikage replied. Kuroi fixed his gaze on the stadium as Yugito leapt from the bleachers. "Quite ironic when you think about it," Kakashi observed. "Good luck, Vixenheim," Naruto said. Kira kissed Naruto on the mouth before leaping down to the stadium, Yugito making a low growling noise. "You're certainly a fired-up kitten, aren't you?" Kira carefully coiled her tails around her waist, her blade positioned horizontally on her back. "Keep talking, Vixen. It'll be even more fun when I scratch off that smug look on your face," Yugito snarled. "You definitely have your mother's personality. Before we commence, tell me why you're so intrigued in my Naruto-kun." "Because." Yugito blushed, concealing her eyes behind her tresses, his eyes. As her blush intensified, Kira was fascinated by what Yugito said, his eyes shone with a warm desire. "And he does not regard you as if you are a bit of meat. He exudes a friendly sensation that. Growl, will you just stand there and ask me dumb questions, or will we fight?" "Kitten," Kuroi said, his arm around Hikari's wife, "it appears that our little girl is growing up." "You are correct, darling. I believe Kira-chan will undoubtedly assist her in this fight," Kuroi said, his wife looking perplexed. "I see," Kira said quietly. "Looks like I had you wrong, Yugito. I'd like to learn more about you," Kira reasoned. "Have both combatants prepared?" Yugito crouched to prepare herself, while Kira remained in the same posture. "Begin." "Begin. Damn arrogant vixen," screamed Yugito as she charged directly at Kira, her talons expanding into claws. Clack when Yugito used her free hand to direct an attack at Kira, striking her at the side. "Got you." Kira drew her blade, clashing with Yugito's claws. Kira just smiled as she vanished in a puff of vapor. "What? You really should learn about Kitsune. We're a bit of a trickster," Kira said, her shadow clones trailing behind her. "We'll see what happens. Mouse hairball," says the fireman. Yugito spewed out a large, mouse-shaped, flaming hairball, which divided into several smaller hairballs before charging into Kira's shadow clones. "Did I get her?" Each mouse asked after colliding with a shadow clone, which exploded on impact, producing a huge smokescreen. I recall that method. That was something your mother did to me a long time ago. It's still as disgusting as I remember it," Kira said again behind Yugito. "Meow," Kuroi said, motioning her palm like a cat. "Growl, Yami Nekozume, claw your way to oblivion." Yugito's hands were coated in black chakra, exposing a set of black fingerless gloves with 3 long spikes protruding from them. "Burn brightly with judgment flames, Heen." Kira's katana erupted into flames, enveloping the entire blade, showing a straight long sword with a scarlet red handle and gold hilt with an oval-shaped guard, and swirling flames encircling the blade. "The real fight has begun. Come on, Vixen." Yugito and Kira fought with their weapons, Yugito slashing her clawed weapons and Kira parrying each of her strikes. Yugito combined her clawed weaponry as Kira leapt backwards to avoid them. Yugito exhaled a huge black fireball that was aimed squarely at Kira. Kira, seeing the approaching fireball, swiftly blasted out a brilliant blue fireball. Boom! Both fireballs collided in midair, resulting in a massive detonation. Yugito and Kira came to a stop as a result of the detonation. As their weapons continued to clash, both females shouted a war call. "This certainly brings back memories," Kuroi murmured. "I'll say," Hikari said as he adjusted his headwear, "our daughter must be head over heels for this foxboy." "Well, you know how she's always being pursued by those rich boy heirs seeking more power just because you're the Reikage. After all, it's the only reason she adopted a tomboyish demeanor," Kuroi explained. "I suppose that's correct. Knowing her, she's attempting to impress him by demonstrating her strength. Reminds me of our first date," Hikari said, embracing his wife. "Oh you," Kuroi murmured. "Oh to be youthful again," Sarutobi mused. "Wait a minute, why am I still thinking like an elderly man?" Kira reversed my chronological age. "However, I haven't worked on my ability in a long time. I guess it's about time I went back to the old training fields," Sarutobi mused. Yugito swung her claws like a cat, while Kira parried each claw attack with her blade and a kunai to even the chances. Both females locked their guns once more, each growling at the other. Why? Why can a woman like you have a gentleman like him? All the men I encounter are jerks who are full of themselves and flaunt their money like it's their inheritance. Are you really just a little kitten? What? Wham! Kira unlocked their swords and struck Yugito, who fell to the ground. Yugito rolled herself to her feet, only for Kira to materialize behind her, striking Yugito's back and propelling her forward. Kira materialized on top of Yugito and punched her in the stomach before backflipping away from her. Yugito sputtered as she clutched her midsection. How dare you? Cough. You ask how I can have a guy like Naruto-kun when the truth is I don't deserve a guy like him, Kira explained as she wrapped her tails around her waist. What? Naruto-kun is a nice man who carries me and the other vixens around. But I've done things I'll never be able to pardon myself for, and he still embraces me. He would bear my suffering and stand by me, always attempting to make me happy when the reality is that he has always made me happy simply by being there for me. He adores me just the way I am, and that makes me joyful. Naruto clutched his gut in the stands as the seal began to respond. What's going on? He chose to stay with me despite all the horrible things I've done and forgives me for it, which I couldn't do for myself. Not only him, but also my sister vixens. They had every reason to detest and abhor me, but they didn't. They were there for me and adored me even when I felt alone and powerless. As a result, I can truly fight for them, Kira declared, clutching her blade firmly as it ignited into brilliant flames and a bright crimson aura surrounded her. Kira-heim. Reflected Naruto. Kira-chan, Hinata said quietly. I see. Go Kira, demonstrate her our connection, Kurenai reasoned. You little devil, when are you going to realize that we will always adore you? Enko wondered. Yugito looked at Kira, who was shining brilliantly, and exclaimed, I see now. I understand why he cares about her, but still. I'm not backing down, Yugito said quietly as she rose to her feet. He's the first guy I've actually felt attracted to. His irises have a warm radiance to them that makes me feel secure. I can tell he works diligently for his accomplishments. He doesn't stare at me like I'm a bit of meat like those wealthy scumbags do. They only see the Raikage's daughter as someone who can help them gain more influence, but when I glanced at him, I saw that he truly cared about all of you. That's how I've always desired to feel. When he glanced at me, I saw devotion, care, and affection like I'd never seen before. That is why I will not back down. I wouldn't have it any other way, Kira grinned. Yugito's talons were engulfed in black flames, and he was surrounded by black energy. When Yugito and Kira parted, they attacked each other again, locking weaponry. Yugito began slashing at Kira, who dodged and parried her strikes. Both females began moving at high speeds, leaving behind blurs and sparkles every time they collided. Kira charged at Yugito at high speed, causing her to retreat when both girls were moving alongside the wall. Yugito leapt from the wall first, followed by Kira. Yugito's claws were poised together in a protective posture as Kira clashed her blade against Yugito's claws, causing a huge shockwave. Let's end this now, Vixen. Yugito and Kira skidded to a stop once more. Each girl positioned her weapons to attack. Kira's blade engulfed in flames and Yugito's claws coated in black flames. I'm putting everything I've got into this final attack, cat. Both females attacked at the same time until their weapons collided, resulting in a huge detonation and smoke covering the entire stadium. Everyone saw Kira kneeling on the floor with Yugito laying on the floor after the smoke dispersed, and both females were covered in bruises. Kira labored to stand, limping over to Yugito's fallen shape. Kira knelt, and Yugito looked up at her. Groan, damn it. I was defeated. I suppose I have no option but to back off. Wait. Who said we agreed on that? But I. Show me that you have heart and dedication. That is something I respect in people. However, you must establish yourself to the other vixens, and the only way to do so is to date all of us, not just Naruto-kun. So you get one free D-date, smiled Kira. Yugito was astounded by what she was hearing. She had obtained approval from Kira to go on one date with Naruto despite the fact that he would be with the other vixens, but she didn't mind. Thank you very much. Kira. Please recall what I said. Yugito, you need to be approved by the other vixens. Winner. Kira Yoko, Hayate declared. Naruto leapt down from the stand as Yuna's medical squad arrived, exclaiming, Kira-heim. Naruto-kun, I'm good. I just need some rest, moaned Kira as she passed out while Naruto tenderly cradled her. We need to take them to the medical wing to treat their wounds, Naruto-san. Yuna said as Naruto carefully raised Kira bridal style, setting her on a stretcher as they took her and Yugito to the medical wing. We promise we'll take good care of them. Thank you, Yuna-san, Naruto said as he ascended the steps to the stand. Dear, I'm going to check on our kitten, Kuroi said. Tell her she did a good job, and I'm proud she gave it her all, Hikari said, kissing his wife as she walked away from the hospital wing. Your daughter has a bright future ahead of her, Hikari-sama, Sarutobi said. She most emphatically does. She definitely looks a lot like her mother, and I wouldn't have it any other way, Hikari said proudly. On to the next game. The electronic screen began scrolling through names again when it abruptly halted. Zaku Abumi vs Shino Aburame. Shino strolled down to the arena without uttering anything. This is going to be great, Zaku said with a menacing expression in his eyes. These leaf vermin are nothing more than wusses. It's a pity I didn't get the vixen, but I'll have joy with this one. Don't overdo it, Zaku. Keep in mind that one of your limbs is unusable. That's all I need, Zaku said with a menacing stare at Kin, unlike some weaklings. As Zaku leapt down to the stadium, Kin mentally growled at him, clenching her hand in rage. Today's contest features Shino Aburame and Zaku Abumi. Ready, begin. Zaku swiftly released a huge gust of wind with his good arm against Shino, who easily dodged the assault. Heh, he didn't even stand a chance, Zaku said as one of his gusts struck Shino squarely, causing him to disintegrate to fragments. Is that correct? When Zaku glanced behind him after hearing Shino's words, he was taken aback. When Zaku observed several black scars on Shino's neck and hands moving in an unusual way, he spun around and asked, "What is that thing? Are those bugs?" Shino was blown away by Zaku, only to dissolve into legions of bugs once more. Zaku continued to release his winds until Shino appeared, striking Zaku several times before Zaku effortlessly blocked him and blew him away. This match is over, give up, Shino said as he jumped back after Zaku unleashed his wind. What exactly do you mean, you freak? Your assaults are ineffective. Take a look around you. When Zaku realized he was encircled by bugs, he glanced around and said, You only have one good arm, which means you can only attack me or my bugs. Whichever option you select, the other will assault you from behind. So, what will it be? I choose both, Zaku said with a sinister smile and a mad expression in his eyes. Wrong choice, said Shino as Zaku removed his injured arm from the sling he had created. Yeah, for you, Zaku exclaimed as he glanced at Shino. When Zaku felt something wrong in his limbs, he attempted to relieve his wind. What's going on? What exactly did you do? When a huge detonation erupted from Zaku's arms, he shrieked as his arms began to twitch and explode up. Simple, while you kept attacking me, some of my bugs were released slowly clogging up your wind tunnels, Shino said as he approached Zaku's collapsed body with holes in his arm and his other arm blasted totally off. When you attempted to let go of your breath, your chakra had nowhere else to go, ultimately accumulating pressure in your arms until it was released. I told you to quit. The winner is Shino Aburame. After the medical team had taken Zaku away, the screen began to scroll through names again. Alright, maybe this time you'll be next, Lee. I can hardly wait. Guy-sensei, Kiba Inuzuka vs Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze. Guy and Lee's faces were faulted once more, and Naruto scratched his jawline. Sorry you guys, looks like I'm next. Why is Lady Luck so cruel, Guy-sensei? Cried Lee, his eyes welling up with tears. I'm not familiar with Lee. I just don't know, exclaimed Guy, who was also weeping cascading tears. Wham, you two, grow up. At least show some backbone instead of crying over some stupid lottery, said Tenten, slamming Guy and Lee with frying pans, each with 2 facial implants. I got dead last. This time, I'm going to show him who's boss. Come on, Akamaru, exclaimed Kiba. You're really clueless, aren't you? Murmured Haku as he petted Akamaru. Growl, well, this is an easy win anyway. Good luck, Naruto-kun, Hinata said, blushing. Thank you, Hinata-hime, Naruto said as he hugged Hinata. When Naruto passed Kurenai, he glanced at her, and she gave him an encouraging smile with their tails lightly brushing. He always has the softest hair, Kurenai inwardly laughed. Asuma watched the two engage silently as Naruto strolled down the stairs. Oh, I want to be there too, Enko thought. Naruto and Kiba stared down at each other, Kiba grinning as if he had just won the fight, and Naruto gazing blankly at Kiba.
Begin. Hooray, tunneling Fang. Kiba spun quickly, shooting directly at Naruto, who merely jumped out of the way, fire style, flame whip.
Naruto swung in a diagonal arch, releasing a red-hot energy whip that wrapped around Kiba's midsection, halting his assault. If you want to defeat me, Kiba, You'll have to come up with something else other than that technique. Naruto pulled on Blaze, dragging Kiba with him as Naruto swung him overhead, causing Kiba to crash into the ground. Like I need another technique to outlast you. Kiba lunged at Naruto, who was sheathing Blaze and flexing his talons. Kiba swung his talons around, and Naruto dodged his strikes. Naruto began swinging his claws and scratching Kiba's clothing before leaping high into the air and motioning his claws in a X motion, pushing Kiba down. Still think I'm the dead last? Kiba grumbled angrily as he rushed at Naruto, both fighters exchanging strikes. Hikari and Sarutobi were watching the fight from the stage when a woman with wild-looking brown spiky hair, vertical slit eyes, and fang-shaped tattoos on her face appeared. The lady was Sume Inuzuka's mother, as were Kiba and Hana Inuzuka, and standing next to her was a big canine about half the size of Sume, with black hair and a white underbelly, an eye patch over his right eye, and his left ear gone. Kuromaru, Sume's companion, was the canine. Sume, I didn't think you'd make it, Hana Inuzuka said, seated next to Sume with her 3 partners behind her. I'm just glad I came to see Kiba fight. I've lately heard a number of complaints about him. Tell me about it, Hana muttered. So he's fighting the Namikaze pup, Kuromaru observed as he watched Kiba and Naruto's battle, but I don't see Akamaru with him. From what I understand, there appears to have been some kind of friction between the two, Sarutobi said. Kuromaru glanced up at the platform and saw Akamaru being caressed in Haku's arms, sighing, I'm guessing this was due to his pride and ego. Otherwise, Akamaru would not be in the embrace of a stranger, Kuromaru explained. Is that one of the new genins that came with Team 7 from the mission? Sume inquired. She is one of our promising kunoichi with a rare bloodline, and she was also trained by Zabuza Momochi. Her squad regards her as the group's leader, Sarutobi stated. I see. So Akamaru recognized her as the leader, but knowing my idiotic son, he probably didn't take it laying down, muttered Sume. Don't blame yourself, Sume. You've done your best to raise him, but some lessons must be learned the hard way, Kuromaru said, his gaze fixed on the fight. Sume regarded Kuromaru with a worried expression as she focused on the battle. Kiba and Naruto fought once more, each grasping the talons of the other, when they both abruptly head-butted each other, producing a large booming sound. Give it up, loser, said one of the lads as he tried to capture the other. I'm going to win this battle, Hinata. And that's it. I've had enough, yelled Naruto as he steadily shoved Kiba back until he was pinned against the wall. Listen to me, Kiba, and listen well. I'm going to make you listen one way or another, even if it means beating it inside your damned thick cranium. Kiba fought against Naruto's grip until Naruto kneed him in the stomach, causing Kiba to groan in agony, saying, Hinata isn't an object or thing you can claim. Hinata is an individual with the freedom to choose who she loves. When Naruto materialized on top of Kiba, pinning him to the floor, he let go of Kiba, focusing energy into his legs and kicking Kiba away from the wall, saying, a kunoichi can be just as good as any shinobi. Hinata is one of the most powerful kunoichi I've ever met. Not just some homemaker, as you may have thought. If you keep this up, your damn ego is going to cause you to lose your friends, and the faith of your comrades. Naruto booted Kiba, causing him to swerve to a stop. Remember what Iruka-sensei used to teach us? The key to any effective endeavor is teamwork. If you want to show off, go ahead and do it on your own because it will only end up costing your comrades their lives. The pup speaks the truth, Kuromaru said. To think I'd actually hear those remarks from someone Kiba's age. Perhaps this kid can actually make Kiba think, said an amazed Sume. If not, I can always do it, grinned Sume, cracking her fingers. Sometimes I wonder about you, Sume, Kuromaru murmured. Give it up, loser, because all you're doing is. How come you're losing if I'm the loser? All you've done is attack me with your claws, and the only jutsu I've ever seen you perform is that tunneling fang technique, Naruto said. Do you think I'll use my best techniques on you, loser? I'm not going to waste them on someone like you. Wish, or can, ever since Akamaru acknowledged Haku, all you've been doing is strutting your ego, said Naruto, perplexed Kiba. Tunneling fang is also the only technique you've ever used, which means it's the only technique you can use by yourself. You're just babbling now, open your eyes, Kiba, screamed Naruto. Do you really believe you've been alone through everything? Kiba's eyes widened in surprise at Naruto's words. Who do you think helped you in the first part of the exam? When you were up against one of Haku's siblings, who had your back? Who was always present in everything you achieved, moron? Did you finally wake up or do I still need to beat some sense into you? Screamed Naruto, shoving Kiba away from his position and making him roll. Groan, I'm the best, exclaimed Kiba. Flashback. Come on Akamaru. I bet you can't catch me, exclaimed a 4-year-old Kiba as a small Akamaru pursued him. Flashback comes to an end. I'm the best, Kiba muttered quietly. Flashback. Come on Akamaru. Let's go for a walk, an 8-year-old Kiba said as he held the door open for Akamaru. Flashback comes to an end. I'm Flashback. Hello, Hinata. You look fine today, Kiba said, obstructing Hinata's route. Thank you, Kiba, but I must go, a nervous Hinata said, appearing like a confined animal. TCH, you just watch, I'll make her my woman, Kiba said, as Akamaru whimpering softly, unnoticed by Kiba. Let's go, Akamaru, Kiba muttered. Flashback comes to an end. Kiba began to recall all of the times he had disregarded Akamaru and claimed credit for things they had done together, causing him to clench his fist and say, I'm an idiot. All of this time. That's what I did to Akamaru. I disregarded him, neglected him, and used him as a weapon. I didn't even notice Hinata's terrified expression. All I could think about was myself, Kiba said quietly. Kiba also recalled all of the terrible things he'd said, which made him feel even worse. Am I that much a jerk? I'll state it. If you don't alter now, you'll lose all of your friends and colleagues. Who can your allies trust if they can't trust you in battle? It took a while, but I'm glad to see some sense finally beaten into you, Naruto said. In more ways than one, Sume muttered, Hana softly giggling. It appears that Naruto can be inspiring in a variety of ways, laughed Sarutobi. I don't know if Akamaru will forgive me, but that doesn't mean I'm going to lose to you, Naruto, Kiba exclaimed. Naruto rushed at Kiba, ready to end the fight, when a blur pushed him back, causing him to skid to a stop. Naruto turned around to see Akamaru standing between him and Kiba. Akamaru? Hold on, Akamaru hasn't been with Kiba since the beginning of the match, so? Let them fight, exclaimed Naruto as he unsheathed his blades. As you wish, Sarutobi said, forcing Hayate to gaze at him. Sir? I recognize Naruto's expression. Who am I to stop him from fighting Kiba with everything he has? If it were me, Sarutobi-sama, I would say the same thing. Akamaru. Thank you, Kiba said quietly, rotating his head and nodding. Kiba's eyes became resolved as he looked at Naruto. Now what do you say we kick some foxtail? Bark, Akamaru, let's go, fang on fang. Well, now's as good a time as any, Miyasu, Tatsumaki. Kiba and Akamaru both launched themselves at high speeds. Naruto said as he changed Blaze and Tempest into their altered states. Wind whipped around Tatsumaki, while fire raged around Miyasu. Naruto's blades collided with Kiba's and Akamaru's attacks, causing a huge explosion. When Naruto, Kiba, and Akamaru rushed at each other, they skidded to a stop. When Kiba emerged hitting Naruto and Akamaru tackling Naruto, Naruto was forced to focus on Akamaru because he was the fastest. Looks like I'm going to need some help, muttered Naruto as he performed hand signs with Kiba and Akamaru charging at him again, summoning jutsu. When Akamaru raced in front of Kiba, a huge smoke fog engulfed Naruto. 7 tails emerged from the smoke cloud, seizing Akamaru and Kiba and hurling them away from Naruto's position. Groan. It's nice to finally be able to stretch my legs. Thanks for saving me from doing papers, friend. Lucky fool, Sarutobi and Hikari mused. When the smoke cleared, a giant 7-tailed fox about Naruto's size smiled joyfully at him. Hiroshi? Have I called you? I was simply attempting to call a fox who could assist me with this battle. Hey, you're my future-in-law. Hiroshi smiled as he said, you're already family, so of course I'd help you. Well, this is interesting, a perplexed Sume said. Why, of all the foxes he could have called, this one? I need to get out of here before he smells my scent, a concerned Kuromaru thought as he cautiously backed away from the entrance. Do you smell a dog here? Crap, exclaimed Kuromaru. Great, another one, Kiba muttered. Who is this person? My current opponent, Kiba Inuzuka, and his partner Akamaru, Naruto explained. Inuzuka? He couldn't possibly be, could he? I could have sworn, said Hiroshi, spinning around to see Sume and Hana standing there. Heads up, Hiroshi. Come on, Akamaru, Kiba said, eating a pill and throwing one to Akamaru, causing his hair to turn crimson and both of them to emanate chakra. All fours jutsu, screamed Kiba, who got down on all fours, his claws elongated and his facial features feral. Jutsu for man-beast clone. Well, this could be fun, said Hiroshi, transforming his form into a red-haired youth about Naruto's age with green eyes while wearing a red combat kimono extending his claws. What do you say we show them the power of the Kitsune clan? Right with you, Naruto said, throwing Miyasu to Hiroshi, who skillfully twirled it, igniting in flames. Naruto took sparks from its scabbard, raising the gold rapier to his face as if welcoming an opponent. Let's go, Kiba, exclaimed the clone at the summit. I'll be right there with you, Akamaru. We'll beat them together, shouted Kiba and Akamaru simultaneously. Are you ready, bro? I'm as prepared as I'll ever be. Naruto and Hiroshi charged at the two Kiba, each holding a kunai and colliding with it. When Naruto locked swords with Kiba's kunai with Tatsumaki, they parried each other's blade strike. Naruto focused chakra in Spark's knuckle guard while striking Kiba in the stomach and shocking him. I wasn't the former head of the Kitsune clan for nothing, you know, Hiroshi said as he abruptly vanished from Akamaru's view when Akamaru was thrown back next to Kiba. Hiroshi abruptly began stretching his muscles while cracking his neck, groaning, "That was a good little workout. Thank you, friend. I value you bringing me here." Kind of unfair with you being here and all, Naruto admitted, feeling regretful. I tried to be fair, at least. I hadn't had a sword fight like that in a long time, so it was a win-win scenario in the end. A good swordsman never forgets to go back to basics, Hiroshi said as he handed Miyasu back to Naruto. I'm not giving up, groaned Kiba as Naruto affirmed and sheathed all of his blades. Kiba was abruptly engulfed in black chakra, similar to Sasuke, when Akamaru moaned and slowly rose, surrounded in white chakra. Me and Akamaru refused to give up. This technique, it couldn't be, Hiroshi murmured. Come on Akamaru, let's put it all together for one last attack, moaned Kiba, with Akamaru nodding in accord, fang over fang. Twin style. Yin and yang piercing fang. Kiba and Akamaru swirled together, creating two large swirling projectiles, when they abruptly swirled together, creating a swirling yin-yang sign directed directly at Naruto and Hiroshi, twin style, yin and yang piercing fang. I've never heard of such a technique, exclaimed a stunned Tsume. Do we even have an attack like that? Hana, surprised, inquired. Hiroshi placed his palm together in front of Naruto, index finger and pinky looking upward. Kitsune style, Vulpine Infernal, said Hiroshi, flicking all 7 of his tails, each with a tiny blue flame at the point. Hiroshi's tails emitted 7 fireballs, which merged in front of him to form a large blue fireball that transformed into a giant wild fox. Looks like I underestimated these guys, the firefox said as he rushed forward at the spiraling rocket, creating a huge explosion that knocked Kiba and Akamaru back. But that method. Wow, that was incredible. Can you teach me that? Naruto inquired. Perhaps after you've achieved your 4th tail, buddy. This method is still a bit advanced for you, but the good news is that they'll be out of it for a while, Hiroshi said as he vanished in a puff of smoke, causing Naruto to sigh. Do you think I should ask Darcia-sama to teach me some new techniques? Wondered Sasuke. The winner is Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze, Hayate declared. Well, that was a fantastic match, but I think I'll take my son to the medical wing. I need to talk to him about some of these language issues I've been hearing, Tsume said in a threatening tone. Kiba regained consciousness as he attempted to move away. Must escape. Come here, brat, yelled Tsume, pulling a weeping Kiba pleading for his life and clawing the floor with his talons, and Hana bearing Akamaru. I kind of feel sorry for him, Naruto muttered. Ahem, on to the next match, Hayate declared.
That's it for this podcast. Thank you for listening to this video. If you did enjoy this video story, like, share, and subscribe for more. And thank you all for your help and support, and have a great day.